Hi, everybody. This is John from AU Pack Mule, and today we're going to talk about Westworld Season 2 finale called The Passenger, Episode 2. I've got my little bullet repair kit here and my Bernard glasses, and we're going to dig down deep with Carrie McDonald. And Carrie's been on my channel before, and we've done a live stream with Johnny. And today she wanted to cover this episode. So we're gonna let her do most of the talking. I'm gonna kick back because I'm just gonna let her figure out where we are with this episode. I'm not sure. Carrie,
Um,
would you like to say hello to everybody and let's get started?
yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Carrie McDonald. I've just been in some live chats and met AU, and he's been great letting me come on for my second time. Um, I I really appreciate it, and I'm really glad to be have been a part of all of this, really. But um, don't have a channel yet. I'm working towards that. Big
Well,
fan of Westworld.
I've been on a lot of live streams, and you've always had some great questions. I felt
Thank
like
you.
you were like Arnold Horshack with all the ooh, 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 I got this great question. I mean, you've even done the super chat, which is so supportive
Oh,
for all the other channels. So I really appreciate that,
I
and
wish
the
you could do
questions are
more.
awesome. So
Well,
yeah,
thank you. I don't know if I'm like crazy sometimes, or like,
well, that
hey,
doesn't
I
prove
got it.
anything.
I know. Especially not watching this past episode. So,
So why don't you tell us what you thought of the episode to begin with? Just a 1 through 10 rating.
a
Uh,
1 through 10 rating, I'm
yeah,
going to give it an 8.5.
an 8.5. Now, how would you say you averaged the episodes over this last year on the same scale?
Um, I would put, okay, this season, I'd put more at like a 9 compared to last season, except then there was Anthony Hopkins in the previous season more. So just the way the story was told, I don't know. I like this season more because we got more answers, but then we got more questions too. So like everybody's doing, and I don't know. I like this season now. Episode last night, it blew my mind. I was like Hax said, like sitting there with my mouth wide open most of the episode. Um, and I'm like, oh, it's this about to happen, and then they had tricked me
Right.
with a voiceover or whatever from the trailer, and I was like, oh man, I didn't get it, or what, or some I did, like my big question about who the extra host was that had been being built in season 1 about being Maeve, that was totally wrong.
Right.
I guess maybe though, I don't know, I don't,
So
but I
basically,
don't
what I'm understanding is that you've got you've got most
see
of this other seasons for a 9, most of the other episodes for the season 9, and then this one you
a
said
little bit less. Yeah,
just a little bit under. And that's
yeah,
really strange because this was the hour and a half season finale. You would thought that this would have been, 10 times better.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I guess season 1 finale was, I give a 9 out of 10, or
Hmm.
even better, 9.5 out of 10, maybe even a 10 out of 10. I don't know, somewhere up in there
Gotcha.
for the season
So
one finale.
yeah, so the yeah, season 1 we had episode 9 with the Bernard reveal, and then
Yes,
10, of course, with the Ford suicide.
yes.
Uh-oh.
I've been rewatching. Sorry
I
about
think
that door creaking.
that was the door.
Oh,
Okay. I
yeah,
thought it
that
was
was
your
my
knees.
door.
I
That
thought it
was
was your
my.
knees.
That's my dog door. My dog
Okay.
reality. My dog's alternate universe from the house.
You're their servant, right?
Yes, I am like Logan.
So
Which I was just gonna spit out something when I
no, go
thought
ahead.
about
Go ahead.
Logan, and that was how cool the books were written with that piano player
Well, that's
music.
funny you should say that because I was going to comment when I went to my first year in college, we
Hmm.
actually had the punch cards to program. That's how we programmed is we actually used the punch card system, and we had to
I
have like 100 of those cards,
Yeah,
and they go into a feeder, and that's how they actually did a program. This line goes to this one, and it was crazy. It was absolutely
yeah.
ridiculous, but that's how they did it back in the day. So,
I remember in eighth grade, like having a little computer with the black screen and the green letters, and you typed in,
right.
um, symbols, question marks, and whatever to make up some kind of program. But that was so long ago, and I haven't taken any other computer classes, so that's pretty
Yep.
sad.
That was just like punch cards is what those reminded me of.
Yeah,
So that
I
was
didn't do
cool.
the punch cards, but
Yeah.
I was a little bit. What's our timeline, John? 20 years.
So so make
Okay.
sure you go to LMR's channel and we'll watch their live stream as well, just in case you haven't gotten your quota of 40 um, breakdowns of this show.
Okay.
That's awesome. Sword agrees with me about looking like punch cards, exactly what they look like. Cool. So those books were cool in the regards to the fact that they were all human beings, consciousness basically, and those were what got put on the red balls that we saw,
Yeah.
and then the host were the black balls. Um, in this episode, we started with the fidelity and the fact that Bernard had gone through this testing with. Are you okay?
Yeah,
Karen?
I'm here.
Oh, sounds like you're doing the dishes or something. I didn't
My
want. I didn't
daughter's
want to interrupt
asking me. My
you.
daughter's asking me what I want for dinner.
I
My
gotcha.
husband's picking it up. And okay, go ahead.
Give me
I'm
some
at the
chicken
door.
nuggets if you don't mind.
Yeah, really.
No, 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 no. That's
Um,
okay. Renee's already getting Chinese food for me. That's what it
oh,
is.
yeah. He's getting Dairy Queen. Naomi likes that. So
Cool.
cater to the
So
16-year-old with the bad appetite. But anyway,
we got through 12,000 versions of Bernard.
yeah,
Was that a surprise to you that it was that many?
yes. And I had some trouble with that. And then I saw something that Robert, Indie Geek, had written for his on Patreon, breaking it down, and um, he the way he put it was just perfect. And now I've lost my train of thought. My dog. Oh God, what was the question again?
No, we were just talking about Bernard. It wasn't really a question
Bernard, I got to
about
get out of the
the
that room.
12,000
Okay,
about the 12,000 versions of
rebuilds.
Bernard. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Um, that kind of confused me with what was going on with the timeline jumps on the show,
Hmm.
and when things were done, and when Dolores, got to Charlotte. I mean, I kind of did figure those things out when I did the rewatch, but the first run through, which is basically all I've gotten to do, um, I was super like, yeah, I was blown away when she said that she had made him, and that because the whole time we had thought he was making her.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
We definitely thought that
that was a
last year
good,
too, right?
yes, yes,
Yeah.
that was a good reveal. There were
So
several cool reveals.
since we're
Um,
at the beginning, I did want to say hello to everybody in the chat.
oh
Obviously,
yes, yes.
Lauren's Corner is here. John
Hi.
St. Baptiste came in earlier. He hadn't seen the episode yet, so he wanted to get out of here before the
Okay.
spoilers took
Yeah.
over. Chrissy is of Old Sons here as well. Heart
Hello.
goes to you. Dog Sidious, who had a great live stream with me yesterday. Had a
I
blast with
missed
that.
that one.
Yep.
I told you why,
Yeah,
but
it's okay. LMR, of course, and Johnny are here as well. And
hey,
then I know you can't see the chat, so that's another reason why I'm doing this.
thank you.
Julianne is here. Adrian Maddock is here. Andre Maddock, Scott, sorry. Red Walrus is here.
All
Gotta
right.
love Red. Mr.
Yep.
Broke, Black Man himself
Ah,
from
yes.
Saturday's
What's
live
his?
stream.
Yeah, and
And
I heard his name for the
Steffi's.
first time. David. Is that right? His name?
Yeah, David.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Going old school with the David. All right. That's how we get the one true David Adams because we couldn't confuse them, right?
Yeah.
Terry T is also here. Thank you for so much. Icy Spots, the man, the myth, the legend. Icy's been around longer than I have, which is really
Awesome.
amazing. Totally
Yes.
amazing. And like I said, Renee M of House Stark, always keeping us fed. Laving Shadows, love to have you here. And I know that you can't stay, so definitely just to really appreciate you coming on. Tina
Yeah, me
Sarah is
too.
here as well. Smokahontas. I don't know if you
Ah,
saw her picture on Twitter the other day, but yeah, she definitely
no.
looks just like a smoking Pocahontas for sure.
All right.
Yeah, very
That's
nice.
awesome.
Very great picture, and glad that you shared that with us. Um, but let's get into the episode. We've got Dolores spooning with Teddy. That was kind of weird.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's take a nap next to the dead guy, right?
Was she digging the core out?
Well, I don't know how much
Did she
digging she had
take?
to do with the bullet going through his head, but
So it was.
yes,
You
yeah,
think? Okay.
it was his
I
control
know.
unit. Mhm.
Right. It was control unit. I just because there was so much blood, and she had it. I didn't know if she like how much time and effort she had put into removing it. I had
Right.
thought about that, and then during the first watch, I had missed the whole thing with the bullet. Um, that when she replaces it, takes it from Teddy's cortical shield from his control unit where it
Hmm.
didn't go through, bends it, and then replaces it in the Man in Black's gun.
Well,
And
she didn't actually put it in the gun like a regular bullet. It was just meant to be in there like a quarter to jam it.
yeah, I know.
Okay.
But
Okay.
she put it in, yeah. I mean, I know a little bit about guns, but
Good. Good.
I did look up his gun because I thought it was really cool how he could
Very,
take it apart.
very
And
unusual gun. Yeah.
yes, so um but yeah, I think that did cloud her judgment, you know, towards the end when she kind of was like, I'm ready to just get rid of all the hosts, and everything. Um, when she finally got to the forge.
So you didn't think it was too weird that she was just taking a nap with the dead host
Well,
there?
yeah, it was. I'll tell you what, though, I enjoyed Dolores more this episode than I have in a while
Okay.
as
Well, you
Evan's
got to see
job.
that she was.
Yes, you got to see more of her, what she's been up to. Yes, which has been a lot.
Yeah, for sure. So she comes up upon the man in black, and the first thing he asks is, "Where's Teddy?" Like,
Yeah, no, I was like, oh,
isn't
what a
that kind of
punch.
weird? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some things that she knows about that I'm not sure how she knew about. Like, how's she know that was Emily on the trail?
Absolutely, totally great
Is that
question. Another one of
okay?
those.
All right,
Another
that's
one of
what I
those
thought.
things that I'm not too happy
Okay.
with on the episode. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the kind of things I was telling you about earlier.
I'm gonna assume that she's been to the park before, obviously. I'm gonna
Yes.
assume that they had contact one at one time or another, and I'm gonna have to assume that because of her changes and she can remember everything,
Everything,
it
right?
includes Emily. Now, whether it was Emily as we know her for, now, or how long ago was Emily at Westworld versus the other worlds? Don't know.
Yeah.
Just going to have to assume.
Okay. So when she and well, what was the next? Let's see.
After
I
that, we see them
enjoyed.
all the hosts going to the forge.
Yeah, that was
It-
the cinematography part that I definitely wanted to mention. Was absolutely gorgeous, and so Moses leading the people into the desert, along with you know the Dolores and Man in Black and Bernard trio having their falling out, and um, I noticed that there was like a black hat looking part of the scenery. I don't know if anybody else saw that, but that was kind
Mhm.
of stuff I saw in there last night. But I I also wasn't sure. I knew it was now, but when had she done some of this other stuff? Was it within this 2 week period?
You wouldn't think so, right?
Right. So, I mean,
So the next
oof.
scene was with Clementine riding to the forge with the QA behind her,
Yes, like
and
the
then
four
Hector
horsemen
and
from the apocalypse or something, because it
yeah,
was her and three cars, three
and
dune
then
buggies.
Hector and their bunch finds Lee Sizemore back at the Mesa to save Maeve.
I thought Lee, a lot of people thought all that was cheesy with Lee, but I enjoyed him redeeming himself, even though
Good.
it was a little cheesily acted out. But the running of the bulls, amazing.
You like that?
Um, I loved it. When I went back and watched it again, I was like, man, it was just so explode. It was just good. That part was really good television. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't. I honestly, while it was going on, you got this build up that Maeve comes back from the dead. All her gang is with her. She's going over there. OP.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get a great Maeve rescue scene. And
Mm-hmm.
the disappointing part was one of the reasons why this episode wasn't good for me. It just didn't have
Yeah.
it had all the great moments up to the point, and then
Yeah.
yeah, just like the Sizemore, he could have easily distracted them with "My hands are up, I'm human,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
shoot me," but
Yeah.
no, he's got to pull the speech out of Hector's pocket
Yeah.
and unnecessarily kill himself. Yeah,
Right.
you see people on crack from the cop show that do that kind of stuff. You don't see guys from guys from
That have a job with somebody like Delos.
yeah, yeah, yeah. These
That's
real
funny.
guns, and you figure after he gets shot, okay, maybe my hero time is over. No, he goes after it
No,
again.
I know. I
Yeah,
know. I
so
actually got sad about Lee. Like I was gonna cry.
mm,
But it was cheesy though in the end. So some of the moments just drew me in, and some of them I was like,
yeah, the speech was better than Krim crying. Yes, but when you got Hector with his hands around your neck, holding you 10 feet in the air, I
yeah.
would probably, but but yeah, that was such a. I'm sorry. I know some people liked it,
No,
um,
you can say
but
whatever you want to. I
yeah, it's
mean,
my
please
channel,
do.
right?
Yeah,
But
please
that was one
do.
of the things that I didn't like. I didn't like the build up to the Maeve because um, why shoot her in the first place to get her away from MIB? They could have done that not so dramatic
Yeah,
ways. Yeah.
yeah.
Let's see.
You talking about when she gets
Trying.
to the door?
Right, right.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I
yeah. I
feel
was like, what?
there's.
I was just because of what Ford had told her and all that buildup. Exactly.
Mhm.
You know, and then that happens. So I had always thought she was going to be the one to make it out, or one of the ones. So
One of the scenes that
we still
interested
shall
me
see.
pretty cool was the next scene with the man in black and Dolores. They finally get to the door and Bernard's already there.
Right.
Um, the QA people were trying to overtake Bernard, and they actually shoot all the QA people. These
Mm-hmm.
QA people are like stormtroopers on Star Wars. They just all get mowed down.
Yeah,
They
they
all
do.
have armor.
I was thinking
They all have the most heavy armor, and they all die quickest. Just like the Star
it's
Troopers, man.
so
It's just
convenient. I
yeah.
know. So convenient.
They might as well have the self-exploding button,
They might as
you
well,
know.
right, or send me in there to do some security work.
You and your garden shears, right?
Thank you. Yeah, that's right.
That was hilarious. Yeah, so
um,
obviously the man in black starts shooting at Dolores. What was your reaction to that?
I liked Evan's reaction to it. First of all, like, oh man, here he goes. I knew this was going to happen, but shit, But she had that gun rigged. I think she put it in the shotgun part where the shotgun bullet
Exactly. Yeah.
goes in, and that's how it. And then this was a little weird thing that I noticed when when the gun backfires and his hand explodes. He's still got two fingers, but then when he goes down that elevator, his whole hand is gone. I guess that was maybe another error, editing error. I don't know.
Yeah, Julianne brings up a great point. The
What?
QA people are all over this whole park, except
Right.
at the gala when they needed them the most. I think Ford put them on a let's go check the other parks tour. I think that's what Ford had done to them.
Possibly. Possibly.
Johnny calls them fish in a barrel security company. That's hilarious. Hilarious.
Hey, I've been
Yeah.
doing some target practice, so I could use some Delos people around right now. I've gotten one myself, so over the past.
So Strand is at this point at the beach digging for information from Bernard. They go looking for I forget what they were looking for, but they were on the two boats going through the.
They were going to the valley because
Oh, that's right.
they
That's
they
right.
realized that all
Shore to shore.
the they had all the well once they got in there they realized that they had all Costa, the engineer, whatever on the computer, of the tablet, said that he had all the data, but it was still locked, and all they needed was the key. And that's
Well,
what
this
I,
is even before then because they send Stubbs to go rescue some humans.
Oh yeah, okay. See, there's so many different scenes, man. I just
Mhm.
keep getting messed. Like,
It's
I
easy to
tried to write
do.
them all down.
Yeah,
Stubbs,
Bernard says he has 20 years of um, unaddressed or
unaddressed. Yeah,
de-addressed memories, which is kind of weird. Um,
yeah, and it would take
does
20
that,
years to go through all that.
yeah, does that indicate that he's 20 years old?
I think so. I think with the timeline, I think so
Makes sense to me.
because of when Dolores, just the things in the past in the season they've been showing us. And Justin did a timeline that I watched, and now I can't remember all the dates, but it fit together pretty well, except for one thing, and that was that William had aged uh, quite a bit in 7 years, or maybe it was longer than that. But yeah, the whole timeline thing. I know that the black boxes were supposed to help us with that, but some of the scenes I was still confused. about when this stuff was actually happening.
Well,
What did you, I
Don
mean, what
Willie
did you think?
Don Willie joined us. Just wanted to say hi to him. Thanks so
Hi.
much for being here. Um, he actually did a video on his Dontertainment channel about the Ford conspiracy. So definitely check that out if you guys get a chance. Um,
Okay. I will, because I
he
like the whole Ford is,
he
the,
says I'm a
the,
host, and technically I'm a host on the channel, but that's about it. Yeah. So, um, Dolores wants mankind undoing.
doing.
So how does she see this unfolding?
I think,
Because
go ahead.
no, 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 sorry.
No, please, no, finish asking.
I was just saying that we knew that William, when he was younger, showed her this the creation of the forge, but you think he spent time, showing her the stuff that she needed to know?
I think so. I think over time, maybe he did. Or maybe she collected all that data from reading his book. But then that doesn't fit with when things happen either. You know what I mean?
If you say I don't know, I really don't know. They
Okay.
At this time, Dolores and Bernard stand around the semicircle, and they travel to the new Forge Sweetwater area. And then later, we see the semicircle being charged, and that's what actually creates the door. So I don't know if you noticed those two things being the same.
Yes, I
That
did.
was pretty interesting, wasn't it?
Yes, because they knew when the first uh, Ghost Nation member. I don't think he had a name.
Yeah, he was just a
Goes
tribe member.
goes
Yeah.
yeah goes whooping through, and they could see it on the screen in there that he one was through the system, and that's when she gets mad and is like, no, it's, and then she is that when she takes Bernard in.
Yes. Yeah, she
Okay,
takes him to see Logan basically, but they have to go
okay,
through Sweetwater with James Delos there before.
right, that was kind of entertaining. I'm sorry. That's a little dark of me, but I thought he
Yeah,
did a good job acting, you know.
you're talking about
Um,
Daddy Delos?
yes. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, both of them really, but
No, tell me what's the other one? I don't understand.
Logan, I'm sorry, the other Delos.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he is
But yeah,
Delos, isn't he?
yes, British Delos and a Scottish Delos. I just like Ben Barnes a lot, and I'm not sure of the actor's name that plays Daddy, but I thought he did great. He plays going insane great, and how every time they test this, you know, it keeps going. How they end up finding Logan as like the greeter or the guardian of the system or keeper of the system.
Yeah, on the Justin
That
Thomas show
Dolores.
last night, he described him as Vision from the Marvel Iron Man,
Okay,
where he
I'm
doesn't have a
don't.
physical form, but he's the AI.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay, well, I haven't seen those. I am like so old school with Marvel. I haven't seen a Batman any, like I've just seen like the first ones they made in the 80s and 90s. I just haven't, I don't know. I just haven't, like Star Wars, I just haven't gotten past the wanting to do it. I don't know why.
So Julianne ask, was Logan the persona of the system? And yes, the answer to that
Mm-hmm.
is he wasn't actually Logan as we know him. He was just
Right.
their interpreter. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. What he did was figure it out that, you know, what that humans were not capable of change, which I thought was pretty cool. And that that they're basically simple creatures that can't get away from, you know,
Yeah, that scene reminded
How they,
me with Logan, reminded me of the uh, home repair shows where they want him to be he would be the real estate agent taking Bernard and Dolores through the house. Yes, this is
yeah, yeah,
all new
yeah,
granite countertops and all that stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would be the agent. So yeah, it's very cool. And then his twin brother would be the home repair guy, right?
I don't know.
We're
What
just
show are
gonna
you
pick.
talking about?
I don't remember the name of the show, but I'd seen
Okay.
where they were brothers. But
Okay.
anyways, so
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I don't remember it.
So we get the Ghost Nation starting to go through the door, and
Yeah.
basically the cool part about that was that's how they explained the 1/3 of the hosts that were in the lake that had the clean memories is that
Mhm.
our virgin memories is what they called them. That once they went through the door, their all of their information that's in the physical body disappeared to
Mhm.
be transmitted to the new host heaven, basically.
Yeah, they show it with Akichita when he gets shot as he's
Hmm.
going through the door and then it
Hmm.
disappears, But is that place really a paradise? I mean,
Well, listen, they don't have hosts, they don't have humans telling them what to
yes.
do and expecting them to do what they ask. So, yeah.
Well, and like Hax mentioned someone finding the key and unlocking it, but if they uplinked it like with the satellites that were on the beach when they with Bernard, um, what satellite was that being sent to?
Well, it
Because
was
Dolores,
originally, sorry.
no, going to be sent to Delos's. I know, but I'm wondering if Ford or some had some other place that they were sending all this to, where they could exist and no one could find them ever. You know.
Yeah, that's exactly what Dolores did is she directed them to a new destination.
Yes.
So that's why that worked. And then, of course, we see Elsie and Charlotte watching Clementine ride to the door. So we get to see that um, Elsie really did
Did
portray.
betray.
Yeah.
Hmm. I know. I was sad, and I was
So
sad.
I got a question for you.
Okay,
Who's got, who's, what, who's, the balls and who's
in
in
the
the balls
bag.
that are in
Oh
Charlotte's
man,
back?
why'd you
Yeah.
have to ask me that question? Okay, um, Teddy. Um,
Isn't he already in the heaven? Because we see him.
I don't know
We
because
see
she says it's got to be people who are going to be willing to help her take down Delos. And I think I mean, we never see Bernard go out into the real world. He just opens the door and smiles. I mean,
Mhm.
that post credit scene kind of like threw me for the whole episode when that happened because why did she keep Bernard? Except my thought was just because she said they were not going to be friends, they were not going to be, you know, big buddies or whatever. They fight with each other because she just wants to dominate everything. She said it several times. She wants to take over their world. And he's just such the pacifist and the like, oh my God, please, no, I'm trying to save everybody all the time. It's just the so anti him. Why did she bring him back except to make more host bodies? So is she going to keep him trapped in that house?
Oh no, I don't think that's her intention at all.
What do you think it's more the checks and balances thing?
Right. I think it's yeah. I'm not going to compare the show to Lost, but in the
I
Lost,
never watched an episode of Lost.
you're a smart lady. Yes. There was two brothers, and they would play this game with the black and white, kind of like Parcheesi, but it was I think it was called Go, Chinese
Uh-huh.
game, and
Oh,
it was all about yin and yang and black and white
oh, okay.
and that whole thing, and maybe that's what Dolores and Bernard are.
I see.
They
Maybe,
certainly.
but maybe they're changing it for this TV show.
Oh, they better change it, yeah, because that won't go very far with the crowd. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
So Justin Thomas came on. Thanks for showing
Hey,
up. I appreciate
Justin.
it.
Yeah.
And we're definitely going to be here for a little bit longer before we hop on over to LMR's channel. So you,
Okay.
so you said Teddy. Obviously, we know
See what?
Bernard.
Oh goodness. Maybe Maeve. I mean, I don't know how,
Right.
but I just kept hoping her. I mean, when did she have access to the bodies to get these things out?
Exactly. Exactly.
So, um, I don't know. That's just all right.
Chrissy brings up a good point. She thinks one of them is Peter Abernathy.
Okay. I wrote that in the live stream last night. Abernathy was one of them. Thank you, Chrissy, for reminding me. I need to keep better notes.
Now,
Um,
these aren't all the people that are surviving the show because obviously Lee and Sylvester are going to repair a lot of the host and get them up and running for the park because that was at the very end.
Felix and Sylvester.
Yeah. Sorry. Did I say Lee and Sylvester?
You did.
I'm sorry.
No, the two cats, man. Felix and Sylvester. Um, yeah. Uh, so here we go again.
Would you say Angela maybe? She blew up, so there's probably not a chance of getting her back, right?
Right. Clementine.
Not
Angela. Oh,
Clementine. Yeah,
Angela.
Angela.
No,
Yeah.
no. I had gone past Angela. She was gone. Yeah. But yeah, she would have been a good one to have with her. Definitely. Teddy. Did I say Teddy? Teddy, her
I
dad.
tried to say Teddy and then I shot that down
Oh, okay.
because I think he's in the heaven.
In the
Because I don't think
heaven.
he would. I don't think she would put him through trying to kill all the humans after what she did with
Okay.
the humans in the park.
Okay. Gotcha. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, John Devereaux brings up a great point. Thanks,
Yeah, you guys in
John.
the chat, help me out here, please.
John says, as Charlotte, she had access to all the hosts who survived.
Yes, and we just didn't see it. So, oh man, the people that were important to her or could, in her future plans,
Yeah.
that could be, her father had the key that she wanted to keep, and it was him, her father. So it was definitely some emotional ties to people, but then it could be people like Bernard that are more adversarial type acquaintances to have around
Mm-hmm.
to do the whole thing like you referenced from Lost, the checks and balances,
Yeah.
um, which would be someone like Maeve, in my opinion. Um, and I can't really think right now of anybody else. Can you?
So yeah, I honestly I'm not I don't I didn't care enough at that point to dwell on it
Okay. All
because
right.
I at that point I was just like, um, first of all, she has him in a bag. I mean, in a purse, right?
Yes.
So the very beginning of this season, all we talked about was Bernard's cortical fluid, right? What's the
Yes.
purpose of the cortical fluid? To keep his brain cool so his control unit wouldn't overheat. Well, the balls are outside of the control unit and they're not cooled at all. That was the whole reason they had all of the
Right.
water in the
Tanks.
forge, right?
Right. When you
Because they
first see it, it looked like barrels, but then because I was like, how did they get that much water out of there? But then
Hmm.
when you think about them pumping seawater in from the, being on the island and all of that,
Yeah.
it,
That
it
just
was
threw me
a
off
huge place. Yeah.
so much. Like, really, now we're expected to believe that all of these balls are going to live
Right.
for that length of time, and no brain balls going forward. Yeah, let's hope not. Um,
Yeah. So she'd had to have done it pretty quickly.
Pretty quick. Yep. So, what do you think about the picture with Charlie in the house? That was kind of
I
interesting.
think that was it. It was. Oh, there was a picture of Charlie in the house.
Yeah, in his room after he got done, he was naked,
Yeah,
being interviewed, and
I didn't
obviously
notice the
Dolores
picture of Charlie in the naked interview.
not in the interview. After the interview, he gets dressed in his suit. He goes
Yeah.
upstairs. He sees his room, and in his
Okay.
room is the picture.
Ah, I didn't notice that. That's
Yeah,
bad of me.
that's okay.
I just
So,
think it's still his cornerstone.
gotcha. You think maybe Dolores had that there to remind him
Yes.
so he
Yes.
would be stable? Can we get rid of the Charlie is Charlotte theory?
I don't like it, to be honest. I guess that's why I didn't notice the picture in there because I just have turned my brain off to it.
I don't know if it makes sense at this point. Um,
I don't either. I don't
anybody
see it.
anybody in the chat say yes or no to the
Yeah.
Charlie is Charlotte theory? Anybody like that?
Now it could go forward, make help the story go forward for next season. That would be interesting. But I don't know. I need help. That's what I told Justin. Like before he started the live stream, I was like, I need help.
Yeah, everybody in the chat so far is saying no. Renee, BBM,
Yeah.
Sword, and Chrissy.
Okay.
Julianne
They're
asked
saying that
if he has
that Charlie and Charlotte are not
right, right.
connected. Okay.
Julianne asked if he has a kid who never grows up, they'd be spotted as robots. Yes, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
And I've wondered, if they've been building him all these years, when did he ever have time to go make another kid?
Tina, Tina Sarah says she's going to buy some balls. Yeah, and put them
Okay.
on her desk. Okay.
There was a lot of those jokes in the chat last night
Oh, I
in the
couldn't
stream.
imagine. Would you rather have the shiny balls or the black balls or the red balls, right?
Or
Yeah.
the blue ones, someone said.
So, oh, the blue, yes, definitely. That's a different species, I'm sure. Well, that's all the
So where
questions
were
I've
we?
got.
Oh, that's
Basically,
all?
until we have the Man in Black scene at the very end, and
Yes. Okay.
they thought it would be very clever, Marvel esque,
Uh-huh.
and do the Man in Black scene at the end, which
Well, I
was
kept waiting for the credits to roll because I'm like, what are they going to show? What are they going to show? Because my husband got up and left the room. I'm like, it's not over. And then that happened, and I'm like, wait, okay.
So before the
I,
end of the
I'm
show, the last time we saw Man in Black was on the beach. He was alive, and um, Stubbs was attending him, and
yes.
then we see the after part. So tell me what you thought about that whole conversion.
It almost, yeah. Okay. Well, this is kind of going back a little bit, but the reveal of Charlotte was very cool. I thought how they switched it around for Dolores to get out of the park. Um, but Stubbs, he's been getting like I don't know how he hasn't punched somebody in the face yet. And or shot somebody, honestly. But you know, he knows something about Hale. I don't know if it's because he's a host and can sense her. I mean, he said Ford tasked him with taking care of the host. How long has he been there? Because he doesn't look, you know,
Right.
like, you know, an
And he
older
also used that
gentleman.
prime directive kind of a thing.
Yeah, yeah,
You could say it was my prime directive, you know,
yeah,
keeping the host alive.
yes.
So
That was another throwing Ford in there for the future thing, kind of to me. I don't know how, but does anybody have any thoughts about that?
I'm reading as we're talking, but I was hoping that you had an idea of why they put that last scene in there
Why they put it in there?
or what you thought about it. I just don't.
I thought it was confusing. I was like, okay, it's got to be further on in time. You know, I think several years, if not decade or so, later in time. And the man in black, you know, he got put in the forge and he knows they're doing the test on him. And his daughter has been made into a host. Or I don't know how that happened, unless that was something that you know. I don't know. It just um,
Connie
I
Super
thought it was
says, "What is dead may never die."
die.
So
Okay, yeah,
that was awesome.
that's that's true. Very true. Yeah, you know, the whole time with Game of Thrones, I was wondering about Jon Snow and how that was going to happen, and it just came back in such an in such a crazy way of how he was brought back. Because at the books, you know, that's you know that's in the epilogue, that part, but of him dying.
Terry T has a great comment. It's
Okay.
says I think it is somehow showing the hell that Emily promised her dad
Yes.
would
Yes.
be going
Definitely.
through forever.
Yes.
And really that's the only thing I could think of that would be the answer to that question.
Yes.
Because to me, and I know she's not Emily,
Right.
um,
That's how I can't figure out like where Dolores got how her information from and stuff. That's
yeah,
kind of, but it's not really important in some ways to the whole overall story, you know.
exactly.
Um, I thought it was a good twist on him. It was the perfect prison of his own sins. Um, but is this the last we're going to see of him?
I kind of doubt it,
You do?
just because of the way the writers are
Yeah.
playing with us.
Yeah, because
Um,
there was no going to be no Anthony Hopkins, and
yeah,
then um, now there's going to be maybe no Ed Harris, and those are two of the biggest ones you got on there, you know?
yeah. That John also brings up another good point, and that is that the MIB was in the forge
Right, when they
when
were
Dolores
walking
and
through
Bernard were right, right,
with Logan.
yeah.
Hmm.
And I think they called them um, despicable. Actually, is one of the descriptions they used. But anyways,
I
um,
didn't. Who said that?
I think it was Logan
Oh,
as the
okay,
AI. Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Because I just mainly I saw William, I mean, the man in black, whatever, looking at them as they were walking by. So he kind of saw them. And I was like, wait a minute, you know, where is he exactly?
I thought,
Did that throw anybody else off
what's
of
that?
that last, when he's now when they're testing him? before he's in the room with Emily, but they've got him sitting in the chair when Logan and uh, Bernard and Dolores walk by. He turns and looks.
Yeah. That didn't bother me at all.
Okay.
Because I had expected that he would have been in there, um,
Long
and
enough to know who they were.
I well, I thought there would have been, he would have been in there as a test subject for forever, since the beginning of the park, because that was his project. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they would have just been remaking. I mean, if they made the father 18 million, I think is what it was.
Yeah, it was. You got it.
So if the father was there for 18 million times, I just would assume the man in black or William would have been in there just as long.
Well, we saw on the tablet in the last episode in 9 that when Juliet was looking at the tablet that he was subject number 2.
Right.
So Daddy Delos was number 1,
Hmm.
and so he has to be
Yeah.
number 2.
Makes
Or
sense to me. So,
yeah,
in your opinion, is the man in black a host? Confirmed?
he's headed that way.
They're slowly turning him into a host. Okay.
He's made,
He's a,
yeah.
he's a
I mean,
Borg.
he's yeah. I don't. They're still trying to figure it out. They're still testing him. That's what
Okay.
I took from it.
Gotcha. So the man on the beach is not a host, is what you're saying. He's a human.
Yeah. I, oh man, I don't know.
Well,
I'm
guys,
sorry, John.
no, that's okay. We're almost done anyways because I want to get done before um, LMR comes on. So,
Okay,
do we
that's
have
one.
any
That's awesome.
final questions in the chat? By the way, I don't think while you guys are coming up with your final questions, I just want to say personally, I thought this was the worst episode of the 20 episodes that we've seen from Westworld. Um, last the last episode, I only gave it a rating of 7.5 out of 10. This episode, I'm giving it a 6.5 out of 10. And I think that the reason why, last week it was the same information over and over again, and nobody's going to believe that Ford, to me, was going to give the man in black his profile at all. I just thought that was so unnecessary.
Yeah,
Um, Dog, I felt just like you watching The Last Jedi. Not that I was watching The Last Jedi, but the way you watched The Last Jedi, that's the way I was feeling. Yes, this is the last Jedi of Westworld. For sure. Um, wow, Chrissy says she gave it a 6 out of 10. I don't
oh,
feel so
okay.
bad now. I
Why
I
did you feel bad? I mean,
I
because I
well,
can
I
do,
got to
you
tell
know,
you, I have loved this show
me
from
too.
before it started. As soon as I saw the trailers, there were 3 trailers. I put them together in a video and I said, "Guys, you've got to watch this on HBO." I saw the movie way back when. It's perfect for now. We got this break coming up for Game of Thrones,
Thrones.
and it was
Hmm.
awesome. So I've just been live streaming about it, and yeah, oh my goodness, that was it was really heartbreaking because I've loved every episode. I mean, I love the Westworld Western part of it. I've liked the AI part of it. I've liked all of it. I've just loved it.
Me
And
too.
this last episode left me feeling like this doesn't answer any questions. This, I mean, the scenery, like you said, was beautiful. So that's one of the reasons why I gave it as good of a rating as it was. The actors and actresses on this show are phenomenal. I love every character. Even Sizemore has got that.
Hmm.
He's got that perfect casting. But I didn't when Sizemore died. I'm like, okay. When
Yeah,
Maeve died, I'm like, why? You know.
yeah. I
Why
know.
did they go? Why did you go? Do all this other stuff. Just to show us Shogun World, just to show me, really.
Yeah.
So it just didn't
It
make sense, and
That's why I'm having such a hard time answering your questions, to be honest, because I mean, I've been trying, but it's going to take so many rewatches of the episode for me
gotcha.
to pick up on everything. And I just didn't get a chance to do that. And I apologize to everyone because I just feel like I've been no help at all um, tonight. I guess, I came away from the beginning thinking it was really good. And then now, the more I've been delving into it, I just keep getting more confused. And that does kind of tick me off. Like, it wasn't a good here, take us up later, kind of thing. Like, oh, I'm going to be waiting for the next Westworld, like another episode would have done, like you said.
Yeah.
What I said at first, I'm like totally switching what I said.
I was gonna say, none of the characters from Shogun World were given the opportunity to go here. None of the characters from the Raj
Mm-hmm.
were um, and
Yeah.
so why show us all of that if they're not going to be included in this new heaven kind of area? So, anyways,
I
that
mean,
was
I
my
mean,
opinion, folks, and I'm gonna let Carrie say goodbye,
okay.
and we're gonna move on to LMR and Johnny and see if they can do a better job than we did,
Oh
and
my God, that was
maybe they have
terrible.
a maybe they have
I'm
a,
so
a better
sorry.
a better opinion of it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
All
ahead,
right.
Carrie. Say
It
hi.
sounds good. Oh,
Say
guys,
goodbye.
bye. Thank you for listening to me babble. Um, I apologize for not having. I just don't have it yet. So
It is what it is, right?
maybe it was just too early for me to get on and talk about it this
Mhm.
time.
Well, you guys enjoy the other stream. I'll be on the chat, and in the
And
meantime, wander
subscribe to
aimlessly.
AU. Thank you so much for having me on,
You're
and thank
very welcome,
everyone who
Carrie.
came to listen. Um, I really appreciate it,
For
and
sure.
I've had a lot of fun doing this.
Good, good. So as I always say, wander aimlessly, grin like a dog, and eat dessert first. You guys have a good night.